We always get the two sides of the coin. We do apologize for coming to you some time behind schedule. Welcome. Today we look at something that's been burning in the hearts of many Nigerians, and that began on the 23rd of August when the Central Bank Governor, Sanusi Lamido, declared that the Central Bank of Nigeria come 2013 is going to introduce the 5,000 Naira note. The Central Bank has redenominated and redesigned the nation's currencies almost on a regular basis, and this move has never failed to elicit reactions from the various sectors of the country. Now, this recent proposal from the Central Bank to introduce the 5,000 Naira note coins, and sometime in 2013 did not fail to do the same. It's not new. Nigeria has had currency troubles for a long time. After independence in 1960, Nigeria pegged its Naira currency against the value of the British pound and later the US dollar. High oil prices boosted the Naira's value on par with the dollar, and the nation's largest bill for years remained the 20 Naira note with the image of assassinated military ruler General Murtala Mohammed. However, the collapse of the oil prices in the 1980s saw the value of the Naira retrench as officials implemented unpopular monetary reforms that saw the Naira begin its drastic drop in value. The plan by the CBN now to introduce the 5,000 Naira note in 2013. There are those who have wondered, is it a smart move? Is it the best move that the CBN should have taken? Or is there something else? I have two gentlemen in the house, one an economist and the other a financial analyst, to discuss this topic. But before they come on, let's take a look at this report as we went on the streets.
The money is so high. If they continue with all these kind of things now as present, it will make our, you go to the market, you will see everything will be increased more again. Salary matter, to pay people's salary will be increased again. And again, there are not this kind of money, this is what they are going to spread in the party. So it's not here, we are not fighting. Look at our road, it's not good. There are many things. Instead of using our money to use a lot of money to go and pretend the money again into this country, and this money, the rich men of this country will be continuing to have an opportunity to steal our money away. So I'm not sure that as we are east now, this thing is very, very necessary.
Come to this one. Well, we did go on the streets to talk to Nigerians and find out their reactions to this situation. I know that the reactions are still pouring in, even though the Senate has said the CBN should hold on with this planned move. Well, two gentlemen I have in the studio. One of them, former First Vice President Investments from Merrill Lynch, Mr. Kenneth Iwelumo. Thank you for coming. And on this other side, Dr. Kachi Onanuju is an economist, and you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, we will go straight into the matter. You will have to give your opening statements why you think it shouldn't be. You have said it's a good move.
Yes.
There are certain parameters that need to be taken, but you have said it is nothing that they shouldn't have made the move at all. So we'll begin with the good move.
The currency restructuring is not just about the $5,000 Naira note. This restructure is about making the lower currencies, the coinage of the lower currencies, making it more portable, better to handle, cheaper to produce over the long term. The lower currencies, the 5, 10, and 20 and 50 Naira notes, are the most intensively used notes in Nigeria. They're used by the poor masses, the farmers, the artisans, the traders, the Okada drivers, and they are the ones that are being destroyed. The replacement cost is extremely high. Once you can coin them, it becomes cheaper for them. It also helps the underclasses, many of whom are not part of the current financial system. They don't have accounts. They don't have bank accounts. It's the notes that they have. They're the ones who tend to trash these notes. Having coins means that they can keep these coins and use it easier than it is right now. The cost of replacing coins, coins are not replaced often. The lower currencies are replaced every 60 days because of the
amount of usage.
Yes, by the poor people. The 5,000 Naira note, I believe, will not last long. It's just an interim note, just like the US $1,000 note. And it's also for the upper classes. not for the average person. I will not be able to break a 5,000 naira note at a local booker. It will never happen. The 5,000 note complements the CPN's aim for a cashless society, while at the same time it reduces the pressure on the 1,000 naira note, which itself generated controversy when it first came out.
Okay, let's stop you there. Let's hear from this other side so that the debate can start proper.
I am very happy Mr. Willimore has been speaking very well all about cost of printing. You're looking at the cost of printing. You're not looking at the psychology of the population you're dealing with. I'm also very happy you say you've been abroad working with Merrill Lynch and so on. So your experiences are very different. Everything we've coined in Nigeria have gone off. You're talking about a cashless policy. If, as I'm sitting here, I have just 2 pockets, and the highest I can carry under the present circumstance is 100,000 on each of the pockets, I'll be sitting here with 200,000. With the current plan, I will be sitting here with 1 million naira on myself. So it actually negates the idea of putting much money right in circulation. No. Our psychology is that of, I'm sure you're saying the poor. Nobody likes to be giving coins. Our people, everything you've coined, they've destroyed it. You want to coin the 20 naira, 10 naira, 5 naira, they're going away. Let's all keep the currencies at the air. If there's anything to do, we should redominate. When you dominate, you can actually position the naira as a benchmark currency within the sub-region. Our economy is going, everything seems to be going haywire, yet we are on progression to good. The country should actually target becoming the benchmark economy within this sub-region. And to do that, our currency should be there. We should go back, because if you look at what's going on, all along, we've gotten acclaims for our banking reforms within the central bank system since Sanusi came. That's because he's kept on to the original plan which Soludo has put there. This is the very first time he's going away from that plan. Instead of doing what he's doing now about the 5,000 naira note, yes, it does make sense to change the currency every 7 years to actually mitigate against entrenched fraud that have taken the current system. But there has to be some policy that comes through with it. And what I believe we should do is we should redominate our currency. If there is a problem about managing inflation, how are you going to then hold it when you put a 5,000 naira note into circulation?
Okay.
It runs totally counter to what we've been preaching.
There are 2 issues there that you just raised. Number one, if a currency doesn't have value, nobody's going to use it. It was a big error to coin the 50 kobo, the 10 kobo, and the others, because the devaluation of the naira in 1986 negated their use. These currencies they want to coin now are in active and intense use. This is not those currencies that died out when the naira shot up 22 to 1 overnight. Secondly, you cannot renominate a currency when there's no hyperinflation. If this is Zimbabwe, where we have inflation rate at 2,750% a month, yes, as it was also the same way it was in Mexico, Brazil, South Korea. In Nigeria, our inflation rate is 12.5%. You cannot drop zeros just because you want to. There has to be a basis. Basis is when you have hyperinflation. We've never had hyperinflation in Nigeria. Never.
I am happy because the current policy is only a suggestion from the central bank. And I believe, just like it happened while Yaradua was here, such very sensitive thing, it has not, as I speak, this very policy by the bank does not have a presidential approval.
Let me ask.
The presidency has been intimated, but there is no approval.
Before we go on to that, we know that the Senate has asked that there be status quo.
Of course, which is good. Because this has only been driven by the gains that will come from procurement.
Okay, now let's hold it there. Now, the central bank governor, and I want the 2 of you to pitch in here. Central bank governor said, according to him, that it appears like there are logistical upsides to this. There will be less currency in circulation throughout the country.
Portability.
Isn't that good?
It is. That is why I'm for it.
You're putting the cat before the horse. Don't worry. Don't forget, this is a policy driven towards the cashless system. The cashless system cannot work if you don't have electricity. You have to wait. The government is talking about achieving 6,000 megawatts from the present 4,000. We're expecting to reach 40,000. That means if what we add is just 10%. If 6,000 comes in December, you're bringing in that in 2003. Where are the POS machines? Where are the vending machines? Where would they come?
Society.
You are trying to engineer a cashless strategy when there are no machines for the cards. Where is electricity? We know where are moving towards
the US system is cashless, but cash still flows. This system here affects the middle classes and upper classes more than it does the poor. The poor are still going to be outside this cashless policy. They're still going to hold on to their cash. It is better you go and coin the 50 naira note, which is the most used note in Nigeria, and let the poor have it in a manner they can use. We remember we've always had coins from independence.
And what happened to them?
They went away because of the devaluation of the naira. Simple.
The devaluation of naira.
Hold on. Let me ask a question here. When the 1,000 naira notes was introduced,
there's a lot of controversy.
There was a lot of controversy.
They said there was going to be hyperinflation. Where is it?
Okay.
Now everybody wants it.
Hold on.
Don't forget
after that introduction of the 1,000 naira note,
we have had problem with inflation for quite a while.
The value of the naira continued to decline.
Has nothing to do with the note. It has nothing to do with the.
So what's the guarantee that the 5,000 naira note coming in will not cause a further decline?
It has nothing to do with decline.
If you do what is being planned, it's very good that you will commit the 20 naira sign, the 10 naira, and the 5 naira to icons of history.
A denomination has nothing to do with inflation or devaluation. It's just a unit of value.
I agree. It may not.
It has nothing to do with that.
See, the problem you have.
The question I asked
is
based on what happened when the 1,000 naira
was introduced. That has nothing to do with it. That has to do with the fact that Nigeria, like many other developing countries, have realized that the best way to control the demand of foreign exchange is to make your currency weak. If the naira was 100 to 1 today, the demand for foreign exchange will be outrageous. You will not be able to handle it. The naira will go back to where it is now. There's a balance act going on by the central bank. One, to accommodate the government's need to import capital goods, and two, to make sure that not too much of reserve goes out because of frivolous needs.
I bet.
When last did you see the containers of sand coming to Nigeria?
The pressure on the naira is not because of what he said. It's because of our lack of local production. Everything we do, we want to buy foreign exchange to be able to import. If we have electricity, the pressure will decrease. And that's why I believe we're going there. But we're talking about 6,000 megawatts by December. So what do you expect we will achieve by 2013 for us now to commit to a policy where you're playing the cashless and you want to remove everything and coin all because you believe vending machines and POS machines will be available everywhere? These machines do not work without electricity. So I believe this policy, the present policy, I believe, is actually being driven by the procurement positives that
That's
come.
your theory. I can only use what I see present in front of me. You're overblowing the cashless thing. There will always be cash in any society. What they're saying is they want to reduce the quantity.
Why allow me to go out to 10 million on my body instead of just restricting?
But who's going to allow you? There's a limit of 150,000.
Nobody stops Nigerians from putting what they want on their body.
Excuse me, get the 150,000 a day first.
Okay, the links or the handles you can follow us at Faceoff today or at Nel Taibe. Follow us, send in your comments quickly. We're talking about the 5,000 naira note. Is it a smart move by the central bank governor? There's something I want to do. The International Monetary Fund issued a report in July this year suggesting the naira was overhauled, overvalued by as much as 8.5%. And the central bank rejected that opinion of that report by the International Monetary Fund. Gentlemen.
I've been saying that for so long. In order to develop Nigeria, our currency has to be weaker. In 1980, when naira was 2 naira to $1, half of the 80 million Nigerian population didn't have shoes. In 2012, at 160 to 1, almost every one of the 160 million Nigerians wear shoes. It speaks volumes. The weaker your currency, the more you attract foreign direct investment. The more expensive your currency is, the more you have an outflow. Your rich will put their money out. as diversification.
But what are they doing now? Are they not
At
putting their
160,
money
they're not
out?
going to do it at the same level as 100. And at 200, they'll stop.
Have you also noticed, Dr. Olanujo, have you noticed that the wealthy don't even handle the naira anymore? They spend the dollars.
That's what
they
happens.
spend the foreign currency.
That's
they
exactly
don't touch the naira anymore.
That's the real argument behind this.
That's why the IMF is telling you that the naira
if the rich are spending dollar, why don't we print a currency that's very close into, if not the full dollar value, half of it?
That'll be a wrong move because you'll be importing all the problems the Americans have. We don't need theirs. We want to chart our own course.
We can't chart our own course. You see, now if
I'm very happy with the central bank buying the yuan.
We are trying to subtly devalue the currency without any proper explanation. You're saying that the IMF said the currency was a bit overvalued, and now you want to bring it down.
They are not.
If that's because I know we've had problem with inflation. Don't forget.
12% for a developing country.
And the country has been trying to curtail it for a long time.
I'll take 12% over 2,750 a month.
Well, if we do not run an economy like Zimbabwe does, you don't have to put us in that place.
In Africa, we have one of the lowest inflation rates. Inflation shouldn't be our
We can still be better and still position our currency as a benchmark.
Nigeria, focus on creating jobs, focus on creating wealth. Inflation will take care of itself.
But okay, now if we do go ahead with this focus on creating jobs, on developing Nigerians, the issue, you're talking about the coins that the poor people use. What happens? The old coins have all phased out. Now, if you do turn these other ones into coins, the 20 naira, the 10 naira, the 15 naira, turn them into coins, what's the guarantee? You asked that question earlier. What's the guarantee that they won't fade out? Like
these are the most intensely, these are coins that are in demand. The only thing that will phase them out is some sudden devaluation of the naira by the government, not a natural progression.
What we are doing is a polite invitation to devaluation. As you increase that, and then it goes that way, the poor will abandon the coins, move on to the higher things. I told you before, the policy is reduce the amount of money within the circulation. If you're not going to allow my 2 pockets, instead of today, what is statutorily allowed for me to carry, no matter what I try in the two pockets, 2 words, 200,000, 100,000
upper middle class.
Today, if you now go to that policy, I will be able to walk about with 1 million naira on my body. You make it very easy to put too much cash.
What about the poor person who needs the cash?
We're not talking about the poor people who
but they're the majority.
You see, now you're talking about the poor and how they handle this currency and which one. So you're looking at cost.
Do you know how much
you're looking at the cost of minting and printing over attitude, sociological attitude of the country towards mint.
That can be worked on.
What happened to the last minted coins?
Because the currency was
The Americans still do have $1 note. In the US, you still have the $1 note. Why have they not faded that out for a $5,000?
America has never had hyperinflation throughout the history. They've never had.
Nobody suffers from hyperinflation if you keep your economy in proper perspective.
War and other things.
Nigeria is on the growth, and if you can see what's going on, the country is suddenly on mend. Despite the political problems we have, I see bet. I see new country. It is the right time for us now to put our currency in such a way that it could become the benchmark currency in Africa. Not to start to print 10,000 naira notes, single bills, but no, to try to renominate the currency, bring it back, remove those 2 notes, just like Ghana did, just like Soludo said. This is the only fundamental veer off that the central bank is committing since the central bank has been implementing the original Soludo plan that's been bringing them all their awards and their claims across the world. Now, instead of going to redominate, they are trying to print. And I'll tell you, I'm happy that the president has not yet given his approval. I'm aware that the central bank governor posted these papers long ago. The president, as I speak to you, has not approved. Yes, he's come to the public to try to make his case. And assuredly, he has gotten the reactions. There are certain things about monetary policy that we will accept. Since in the time of President Yar'Adua, it was said to be something so sensitive that the Serbians should hold on. Don't just do it without the presidential approval. We now demand that the president either explain to Nigerians what it is, because what we now have,
you're talking about your own personal agenda. You're not talking about
it's not my personal agenda. We demand, just like happened then.
40 billion naira in this restructuring is cheaper than the billions of naira used to replace 50 naira, 20 naira, 10 naira.
How much is it?
We
In
have
billions.
come, we have
because
come there.
they have a shelf life only.
That
6
is the
days.
truth. He's thinking about the cost of replacing the currency when
Okay,
they get
but
Why
there.
are
if-
you
if-
crying
hold on,
about the
if-
40 billion when
okay,
you're
let's-
spending
The
more
cost,
replacing?
the cost of replacement, the cost of servicing currency in constant circulation
Okay,
is actually what he's saying because of that cost. Instead of printing them,
The
coin
central
them.
bank, the government can
They
teach
want to
the
coin
populace
our
how
currency
to
because
use
of the
coins.
cost
You
of
don't need.
sustaining the availability.
Excuse me, somebody said that there's no coins in an ATM. There are no coins in an ATM anywhere in the world. Coins are for your purse. Coins are for poor people to keep in a safe place where roaches, rodents, and other things will not destroy them.
All right,
In
gentlemen,
Nigeria,
I'm afraid-
coins, I have seen them
We had a
displayed
bad
as collector's
experience
pieces.
because we devalued
A
our
lot
money.
of the rich
Okay,
put
gentlemen.
coins where you can appreciate
Rich will
them
never
as
touch coins.
works
Coins are
of
for the poor
art.
people.
Is the
How
truth.
many rich people have you seen with a 10 naira note of 12
Oh, I've
naira
seen
note?
plenty
They
of rich
throw
people.
them
I
away.
go to the homes and I have coins all
No, I'm
gathered up
talking
to a
about the
million.
10
Just
naira
to show
notes.
you the coins from the days past. If you coin these
If you-
notes, they will become part of what
You get-
stays in those bags
Okay,
to show you
gentlemen,
coins.
I'm
There's a
afraid
lot of
we're-
unnecessary
we're
fear
out of
here.
time.
There's a lot of unnecessary fear here.
In 10 seconds each, could you just give your closing statements? We're really out of time.
They say,
My
go ahead,
closing
Doc.
statement is just like I said. If you send me out today, the best I can take, me and Mr. Willimore, is 100,000 in each pocket. 2 pockets, 200,000. If we now go with the CBN pocket and designs, we'll be able to walk about with $1 million or not, allowing too much cash in circulation.
All right.
It goes counter to actually the preachments.
The 5,000 naira note is a very, very temporal phenomenon. I doubt whether it's going to last long. That's not the issue here. The issue is how to give the underbanked Nigerians who are not part of the banking system, something to hold on, making it cheaper for us to keep our currency longer. If we're going to have hyperinflation or the sudden devaluation of naira, you're right. But that isn't possible right now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth Iwelumo, financial analyst, former First Vice President, Investment, Merrill Lynch. Thank you for coming. And Dr. Kation Onojo, an economist. Thank you also for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And you, thank you for allowing us to be a part of your evening. We do apologize once again for coming to you late. That won't happen again, but thank you for letting us be a part of your evening. Have yourself a good night.